questions lined up here. We're going to start with Mike Reese, followed by Jim McBride. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. Nice to meet you. Do I say it Davon?
Davon, yes. Davon.
Godchaux.
Godchaux, yes, sir.
All right, we got to get that for the TV. Nice to meet you. It's Mike Reese with ESPN. Way to work through the adversity.
Yep.
Take me back, if you would, to Monday, first day of free agency. You were off the board pretty quick there. How did that unfold for you?
You were surprised I was off the board pretty quick?
Not so much. Our guys were pretty complimentary of you, like David Andrews talked about how tough you were to go up against. So,
yeah.
And we saw you, a couple times a year, but more just from a standpoint of, I was curious from your perspective to go off the board that fast, how it unfolded and what it was like.
It was pretty good, man. Just, getting a call from coach, my agent, Coach Belichick called him. But, I mean, the whole process, we kind of been, going back and forth. Belichick reached out to my agent, Drew Rosenhaus, and just said, how impressed he was with me, going against me, every year. So, I figured, it was a chance that I was going to be somewhere in the division by playing, these guys every year, and competing hard against these guys every year, and the respect I have for these guys every year. So, it was a bit, shocking, seeing, the New England Patriots call me, but, it was happy at the same time. I was very happy to get my name called, and, kind of like, draft day all over again, getting my name called by Coach Belichick, and we agreed on the deal and coming to be a New England Patriot.
Just a quick follow. Is that one of those things where it's you get the offer and you're going, or are you sort of weighing a challenging, decision?
Of course, I feel like I had to weigh out, all my options, but, I just feel like, it was a no-brainer for me because the scheme, I'm familiar with the scheme, with Brian Flores in Miami. So, it's kind of the same scheme. I played this scheme in college too. So it was kind of no-brainer for me. I feel like, I fit best in this scheme. I thrived in this scheme. I feel like this scheme best fit my skill set. So, I can play any scheme, but I feel like this scheme right here best fit my skill set. So, and being able to be coached by, arguably the greatest coach all the time, that was a no-brainer.
Next question, Jim McBride, followed by Nick O'Malley.
Hey, Davon, just kind of building off that, when you say the scheme fits you, what kind of player are the Patriots getting, and where do you fit best in this scheme? Where do you work best?
I can play a lot of positions. I feel like I'm pretty multiple. Just me, having my confidence and being confident about it. But I feel like nose tackle I thrive. Being 1-1 with the center. I feel like that's a mismatch in my favor, being 1-1 with the center. But I feel like, 2-eye, I feel like 3-tech, I feel like any part this team need me to play. Anything Coach Belichick need me to play, I feel like, I'll be able to play it. It's up to him, whatever technique, whatever scheme he feel like, that I fit in best for him. But I can play whatever. So I'm just happy to do whatever the team needs to win.
And speaking of going up against the center, what have been your impressions of David Andrews the last couple of years?
I love he's coming back. He's a great guy. He's a smart guy. He's a very hardworking football player. Playing against him, every year, definitely, had me on my P's and Q's going against him, just knowing that he's a smart player and that he studied. I knew that he was going to study me. I was going to study him. So it was definitely a great job going against him, and I'm happy I get to practice against him every day.
Thank you.
Next question, Nick O'Malley, followed by Bob Sosi.
Hi, Davon. Something that definitely we've seen from the outside is there's been a lot of players just sort of bouncing back between Miami and New England. Like Kyle and Ted have gone to Miami and back in the last couple of years, and Adam has gone to Miami. You took Adam's spot, or not the same spot, but defensive tackles, sort of switching spots. Raekwon McMillan's coming with you. The sort of type Miami New England pipeline, is that something that players talk about and are aware of?
No, we don't talk about that. It's just happening. It's a business, and just so happened, Coach Flo, Coach Thunder, Coach Belichick. So it's just just happened to be that, and I'm pretty sure they still have some type of connections, but that's none of my business. But it's just it's the way of the business. It's old guy told me it's more than likely you're going to end up in a division. If you're playing good, because they don't want to see you the most. They have the most game tape on you. So guys were telling me that, man, you might, if you don't be here, you might end up in a division somewhere. I'm like, oh, no way, just blowing smoke. But it's true, because they have the most game tape on you. they watch you the most. They play against you twice a year, so they know your strengths, they know your weaknesses. They game plan on you every time y'all play each other. So I mean, but that's not something that we that guys talk about. It just so happened to happen. I mean, you know, like I say, Coach Brian Flores, he coached under Bill Belichick for, you know, numerous years. So I mean, I feel like, you know, that pipeline is still strong between those two.
But it's something that like you're aware of. It's like a lot of guys over the past few years have just kind of gone back and forth.
Of course, you see it. I mean, you see like you said, Raquan McMillan, Davon, me going to New England. I mean, you see it. I mean, you see Adam going to Miami, Kyle going back and forth. You know, I mean, you see it. But I mean, we don't be like, oh man, like this gonna happen every year. If you don't be here, you're gonna be here. But just so-called happen. You know, it's a business.
Great, thanks, Davon.
Thank you.
Next question, Bob Sosi, followed by Andrew Callahan.
Thanks, Stacy. Davon, welcome to the Patriots.
I'm glad to be here.
You mentioned Brian Flores. You also played for Patrick Graham a couple of years ago, and he used to coach here, of course, in New England. How much did he help you improve, or what was that relationship like a couple of years ago?
I love PG. I'm gonna start off by saying that Pat is a great guy. I mean, Pat, you know, helped me a lot. You know, helped me with just overall, just, you know, things, you know, above football. Like we just, you know, when me and Pat talk to each other, we maybe 10% of football, 90% just talking about life, just talking about man responsibilities, things like that. You know, how his kid's doing, you know, how my kid doing, you know. But I mean, it's bigger than football. But Pat helped me a lot, you know, with my techniques and things like that. And you know, I honor Pat a lot. You know, my first year was in that system in the NFL. Besides being in college, what it was with Pat, you know, when B Flow came down to Miami. So, I mean, that was great. You know, I respect Pat a lot.
Also, want to ask you about, you know, some of the guys who've played that position in New England in the past, and none better perhaps than Vince Wilfork. And if anybody stood out to you watching them play, that maybe you tried to model your playing style after, and if he might have been one of those guys.
I mean, the standard is set pretty high. The standard is set pretty high by pretty much just coming here. You know, I mean, just, you know, all the accolades, all the championships that they didn't win. I mean, that's the past, but the standard is already set high just by coming here. You know, I'm here to write my own legacy. I mean, Big Vince Wilfork, you know, can't take for granted for what he has done for this program and what he has done for the NFL in general. You know, I mean, he dominated the game at that position. So, you know, I mean, you know, hopefully God bless me to do the same thing to dominate this game in that position. You know, I mean, he's one of the guys that I look up to when I talk about striking them with your hands and things like that. He dominated that. And I mean, I actually had a chance to spend some time with him in South Florida. I think he has a house in South Florida. You know, when I was training down there, I actually had some time to spend some time with him. And, you know, I mean, he's like, you know, if I need to reach out to him, I can reach out to him because I have his number. So he's kind of like he's kind of like a mentor to me if I need to reach out to him with some things in this position, which is nose tackle.
Davon, great. Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next question, Andrew Callahan, followed by Mark Daniels.
Hey, Davon, it's good to meet you here today. You mentioned being familiar with the Patriots and then being familiar with you, but you had never kind of stepped inside the building before. So can you take us through start to finish what that day was like, going inside on the contract, everything you did?
Yeah, man. I just wanted to see like all like I said, like the historic stuff. I mean, of course, like meeting Coach Belichick. I mean, that's an honor for everybody. But just, you know, just getting inside the building, man. Just seeing everything. Just, you know, seeing how the guys operate. You know, having a great locker room. You know, from what I hear. But I mean, just kind of like, you know, getting your feet wet like the first day of school. So I mean, that was kind of an honor for me. Just seeing how they do things here, and I'm just excited, man, to get on the field. To get back, you know, I had a bicep injury in week 5 against San Fran in Miami. So I'm just excited to get back. And I feel like when I'm healthy, I mean, I'm one of the best nose tackles in the game.
Obviously, Coach Flores came from up here and you're familiar with him, but did you see any major differences day one just between what you're used to in Miami and, like you said, how they kind of do things here?
I didn't kind of really look for that. I mean, like I said, the scheme is kind of the same, familiar, you know, might have some little tweaks and nuances, but I mean, it's pretty much the same. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm just coming in and do my job. I mean, do my job and do whatever the teams need me to do. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm going to take that same approach, you know, anywhere I go. So I'm just kind of coming in here to do my job and do whatever the team needs me to do and just helping the team to win.
Well, appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Our next question, Mark Daniels, followed by Nick Coit.
Hey, Davon, hope all is well. So last week, the Patriots were really busy. I believe you were one of 12 free agents to sign. Just what was sort of your thoughts as, you know, all this news comes in with all these new guys signing with the past, and just what was it like, you know, with you being one of the 12?
I'm happy to get back to it. I mean, when you talk about nose tackle position, I think a lot of people in football, I mean, besides probably, I mean, New England, I mean, you guys had, like I said, you guys had Big Vince. I mean, so Big Vince was kind of like the masterpiece of their defense for a long time. I think a lot of people don't really value that position in football because of, you don't get the stats, you don't get the high accolades, you don't get the numbers that, the Aaron Donalds get. You don't get those numbers. But when it comes down to it in the 3-4 defense, the nose guard, to my opinion, is the most pivotal position because it sets up everything. The linebacker reads off of that guy. That you got to have in my opinion, in the 3-4 position at nose tackle, you got to have a dog in the middle, somebody who's going to take up double team, somebody who's going to win one-on-one blocks, and somebody who you just can't deal with. Like he's a wrecking force. He's a middle linebacker with his hand down, basically. I mean, you just got to have in this position at nose tackle, you just got to have a key guy, a pivotal guy, and a guy who's just ready to dominate, all day with his hands, and just let that center know, let that offensive lineman know that, hey, it's gonna be a long game.
Thank you.
Our next question, Nick Coit, followed by Dan Roach.
Thank you, Stacy. Hey, Davon. Welcome to New England. I wanted to ask you about Andre Carter, a guy that you also worked with in Miami.
Andre, he's at LSU.
What did you guys talk about when discussing maybe coming to New England, and specifically a guy like him who came here and played a role?
Yeah.
Is that something maybe that you discussed in terms of coming to the Pats, knowing that it's a do your job sort of mentality, and there's going to be a specific role for you?
Yeah, I mean, Andre told me that I would love it. I'm kid you not. I can call Andre right now. Andre told me I would love this place. Andre told me simply I would love this place. He said it's fit for me and I would love it and I would thrive in the scheme. But like you said, do your job. But I mean, just, be you. I just feel like doing your job is all a part of, to me, in my opinion, being yourself. Be you, be yourself. If the players that make the play, make plays, but be yourself and do your job in that scheme. Don't try to make plays outside of, what you're assigned to do. And I feel like once you do that, I just feel like, it makes it a lot easier. I mean, I look at, football is a man on a man each and every play. When you're one-on-ones, if you're getting doubled, that means somebody else free. So, I mean, people make the game hard, but I mean, in this scheme, in this system, I mean, when you're one-on-ones, if you got a one-on-one, we expect you to win it. That's point blank period. That's on the pass rush, that's on the run block. I mean, that's how it got to be, and we got to hold guys to that accountability. I mean, and that's why I think I made the right decision by coming here.
And did Andre tell you anything about Coach Belichick? Anything before you walked into the building?
I mean, he just told me I love it. I mean, he just told me I love it. He was like, Bill's a great guy. He just told me he told me I love this system, and I'm pretty sure he was right.
Thanks, Davon.
Thank you.
Looks like our last question will be Dan Roach.
Davon, welcome to New England. Just a thought in listening to you and to some of the other free agents as well. You seem extremely over-the-top happy to be coming to New England to play for the Patriots. Why is that? Why is that? The smile hasn't left your face since you started talking. And second of all, where does that passion come? Because you can tell you're into your craft and everything you do on the football field. Where's that passion come for you for the game?
Passion come from week 5, being hurt, not playing the rest of the season. So I mean, I'm so hungry to get back out there. I'm so ready to dominate. I'm so ready just to get back out there with the guys and team bonding and stuff like that. Because you got to remember, I missed out on that. I was hurt week 5 and I wasn't, able to, finish the season. So I mean, this is my first time ever being hurt on a football field and not playing the rest of the season. Like besides high school. High school, I was hurt the first game of the season with an ACL, and I was out. But I already had all my scholarships. I already knew I was going to school. But yeah, I mean, just having that energy. I think you bring guys like Jalen Mills, you bring other guys like Judon, and all the guys in the class that we got. Man, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. I think each one of those guys who we picked up are hungry. They got something to prove, and I definitely got something to prove. So I mean, I'm just keeping that same mindset. I keep that same mindset because I knew I wasn't. I was drafted 5th round, 178 pick. So I keep that same mindset each and every day with me. I keep that every day I go to work. So I keep that same mindset, never get complacent, never get relaxed, and I keep that same mindset going on to the field each and every day. So, I mean, it's going to be very exciting, man. I'm just ready to get out there and just win some football games.
You have to calm yourself down. You sound like you're ready to play tomorrow.
I mean, I'm just a very exciting guy. I smile a lot, but sometimes people can be like, "Oh man, he look like a mean guy." But I'm not a mean guy, but I can't be mean if you want me to. But like I said, I'm just excited, man. Like I mean, just to give me the honor to go out there and compete for the nose tackle position. and to be out there on the field and then play at the highest level, which is the NFL, man. I'm so excited. I'm just ready to get out there on the field and dominate.
We'd appreciate you not being mean. Thank you.
Thank you.